He is a very well-known author and journalist, and as I've said before, someone who's written extensively on this very issue. Will, you can sit down, and please a big hand for Peter Hitchens.
Thank you, Jeremy. It is a wonderful contrast, isn't it, that in the United States, the case that I'm going to make is widely accepted, whereas here the chances are that afterwards the audience will beat me to death with rolled-up copies of The Guardian for trying to defend. No, they can't shoot me because they've been disarmed by the state. A couple of interesting points that people need to consider. Until the year 1920, as Stephen touched upon, the gun laws of this country made Texas look effeminate. There was complete freedom in this country to own and buy guns, to such an extent that the unarmed police, in one major incident in London when they had to deal with a foreign anarchist gang in 1909, borrowed guns from passers-by to shoot them. And now, what you will find if you examine the England of that period, the Edwardian period before 1914, is not that London was like Detroit or Dodge City, but that it was extremely peaceful and crime levels were very low. The issue of whether people are armed has very little to do with the level of violence. A lot of this argument is actually a snobbish gesture of contempt against the United States by English people who think they're superior, who point to American levels of violence and say, this is caused by gun ownership. The reason why I rather reluctantly oppose gun control is because I've examined the arguments in favor of it, and they are quite straightforwardly an insult to the intelligence. What they fundamentally say is that we think guns are so bad that only criminals and terrorists should be allowed to have them. A law against guns will only apply to law-abiding people without criminal records. Most gun crime, almost all gun crime is committed by people who already have criminal records. Almost all gun crime is committed with illegally obtained guns. And therefore the idea that a law controlling guns will end gun crime is in itself ludicrous. I myself have absolutely no desire to own a weapon, but I'm very, very disturbed by the idea that my government thinks that I can't be trusted to do so and denies me the freedom to do so. It is a fundamental breach of the presumption of innocence. I am assumed to be of criminal intent and criminal mind, not to be responsible enough, not to be able to take decisions on my own account about such an important thing. Now, it does go back far beyond the 1689 Bill of Rights and Blackstone's commentaries, though they do confirm it. At one point in our history, citizens were actually required to have arms to help defend the law against lawbreakers. It is a perfectly reasonable thing for this freedom to exist. Those who oppose it fundamentally either haven't thought about it, or they want the government to have, as Will correctly said, though wrongly saying it was categorical, they want the government to have the monopoly of violence. Why, if the government and the people are actually one thing, why, if the state is the people's state and belongs to us, if we are the democracy we claim to be, should the government want that monopoly? I leave that question with you.